All is
very
well?
well? Very well.
Okay. Have you visited your former client, or is he still your client? No, he's still your client on some cases.
In other cases, yes.
Yes.
You see,
have you visited him?
I have visited him. He's doing well.
When?
Yesterday.
He's doing well.
He's doing well. He's
I see.
doing well.
Did he tell you anything at all?
No, that was a conversation between client and lawyer. We're not supposed to discuss.
No, I'm asking you this because, you see, the day he was imprisoned, I spoke to you, and you said on the morning of the day he went to prison, he called you, and he said you should do what?
Indeed, I told you, and I still stand by that, and that is the fact also. He told me that he had prior information that he will be convicted, and therefore gave me instructions first after the conviction.
I see.
And this is a fact.
He had prior information that he was going to be convicted on Monday.
And again, I am going to show you why probably he had that prior information. This is a copy of the judgment. Look at it. Judgment didn't go to even the registry of the court. So there is nothing to show that there is. This is on a regular A4 sheet. The courts have their own sheets that they use in publishing judgments. So there is no indication of the stamp of the registry. You go down there at the end of it, and it says that counsel, and in this particular case, defense, attaching for the first and third accused persons. Attaching was not in court on the day. So it would have been that Mr. Appiah could be holding the brief of Samuel Attaching.
But you were not in court on that day.
No, I'm saying
you're just taking an example.
Somebody else,
but even before we get in
somebody else held the brief on the day.
Right.
So ordinarily,
the person's name
will come, and then you refer to the lead counsel or the senior whose brief the person was holding. Now, so this is a publication that came even before the judgment.
Did you ask that's Chairman Wontumi
No.
further on Monday why he suspected that he was going to be convicted on that day, even before he went to court in the morning?
And I'm saying that he probably had a copy of this before the judgment.
He had a copy of the judgment
before it was delivered. And I'm justifying that with these observations. But the most important thing I want to say today is that people who have not had the opportunity of reading the proceedings,
the judgment.
People who have not had the opportunity of even reading the address and going about relying on only the judgment and making some pronouncements.
We'll get into
These
that.
people don't have the necessary experience.
Some of them are actually blaming you for not doing a good job.
Let me finish.
Yes.
These are observations of the judge, not observations of the total proceedings. And in any case, the matters that were cross-examined on that form part of the records may not have been picked by the judge. It doesn't mean we didn't cross-examine on those.
Okay, we'll get to that. I think you're referencing page 28 and 29 of this ruling.
Yes.
Well, I'll get into that. But why would Chairman Wontumi call you on the morning that, look, if I'm jailed, start appeal processes? You were not his lawyer at the time.
Yes, but appeal is a different process altogether. When the judgment is given, a client has the opportunity to change for the purpose of the appeal. So it doesn't follow that you do the case up to judgment and you continue as of right to be the lawyer for the appeal. No, he can change at any point in time. Probably at that time, he thought that if it happened that way, he would prefer that I probably be part. And indeed, from my discussions with him yesterday, he still wants me to be part of the appeal because
I've washed your hands off the case.
Oh, yeah, but you can always come back.
What did you see?
Because the appeal is a different process altogether
right.
from the instant case.
What did you see? The reason why you took the decision that in the dying days of the case, say, I don't want to have anything to do with you.
I gave my reasons at the time that because of the environment that we have created as prosecution and defense and even the court, it was not conducive for us to pursue justice under the circumstances. So sometimes personality clashes and things like that may bring situation in the courtroom even not conducive enough for us to be able to collectively seek justice. And indeed, don't forget that the object of the judge or the court itself is to seek justice. But if personality clashes are preventing all of us working together to seek justice, then it means that we need to recreate an environment that will give us that opportunity. And I thought that at that time, opting out to bring in a new person who would continue. And let me also put it on record, any new person coming had every opportunity, if you found the evidence inadequate, to recall witnesses. Indeed, he had even opportunity to recall even prosecution witnesses, defense witnesses, and even call new or fresh witnesses. So the inadequacy of the evidence cannot fly, because if you had opportunity to do that and you do, the presumption is that you found the prevailing evidence as adequate, for which you rely
so
on.
Akufo could have done that, and didn't do that.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
So they came in at a time where the expectation was that they must. The case was determined to a certain point, and dates for judgment was fixed. So they were boxing.
That is not the case.
Because they pleaded to do a few things, and they were not granted the occasion to do it.
Anytime you come in and you are recognized, and don't forget, when the new lawyer came in, time was given to him to even observe. And
judgment date had already
been given.
Yes, but it was changed.
It was changed from Thursday.
Because
even application. I'm coming. Even application for interpretation was quashed, and because
that is another matter.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there was no leg room for them to maneuver.
There was a room.
But let's get to the
given to him because at the point that he came in and announced himself in the case.
Okay.
The matters were all before him. And he said that I need to even study the brief, which was his legitimate right.
Yeah.
And it was all given. And having studied the brief, then you will come in with your prayers. I need to recall Mr. A or Mr. B or even call a fresh witness. At that point, if the application had gone that I need to recall Mr. A, it was something that the court would have determined and allowed for Mr. A to be recalled. And don't forget that Article 19 1 requires that he be given adequate time preparation to be able to prosecute his defense. So he had every opportunity to recall or call any person to come to the box and give evidence.
I see.
Again, even if he wanted to even recall or call new fresh evidence, the application would have gone. There was no such application. Okay. If he needed any information beyond that which was provided to him, he could also have called for it. And again, I'm sure that he applied for record of proceedings, which normally it is a thing that you do at first instance so that you have opportunity to
yes. How far the case has traveled.
And you will rely on the information I give you. You have to apply for official information from the court, the record of proceedings. So there was every opportunity to do anything if he found. But granted that that application didn't come, there's a presumption that he found the records to be adequate. So as for him, he must hold his peace. The person who has not had the opportunity...
Attach must hold his peace.
Yes.
Hold on, I'll come to you, please.
Wait a minute.
No, I'll come to you. Yes,
so listen to me and follow. The person who would not have had the opportunity of reading the whole brief, particularly reading the record of proceedings and reading the address upon which the judgment would also consider, and comes out to say that you didn't do A, B, C, D, thinking that it is only the judge who has the preserve of lifting parts of the evidence in his or her judgment.
Okay.
Without listening to
you are going into the details, but I wanted to find out from you. See, the narrative that has been put out about Chairman Wontumi's imprisonment is that he's a political prisoner. You handled this part of this particular trial. Do you agree with that?
I agree that the evidence on record cannot support the verdict.
Is he a political prisoner?
Well, I'm saying, I mean, I didn't see any politics in the records, but what I'm saying is that the judgment cannot be supported by the evidence. That one is, and that is in any case, that is how I will interpret the situation. But again, subject to three wise men who also look at what we are all saying. But I will be firm in my conviction that the evidence here in this records cannot support the conviction. If I have the opportunity, I will even tell you about the particulars of offense and even read the particulars of offense and see that it is even wrong. They said, for the first one, particulars of offense, you going to me that you in the year 2024 in Samraboy, nothing happened between Wontumi and anybody in Samraboy. To start with, nothing happened between. Wontumi had not gone to Samraboy at any point in time, and there is nothing like that.
He hadn't gone to Samraboy. He had a concession in Samraboy.
Yes, he had. No, he didn't have concession. To begin with, did he have anything to give Wontumi as a person? And in the case of Wontumi and Akunta Mines, it was Akunta Mines that had the concession, not Wontumi.
Who owns Akunta Mine?
No, that's a different question.
No, that's the question.
No, that's a different question.
The trial judge lifted that corporate.
A company, or I am a shareholder or my director of a company, doesn't make the company me. And therefore, if the company has something, it is not for me. So for you to even say that I gave something to Mr. B is flawed because I didn't have it. And the basic principle in law is that nemo dat code non habet. You can't give what you don't have.
Well, but the
so when you accuse him, no.
To lift that corporate veil,
we are doing
and pierce
an intellectual exercise
and attack the owner.
No, that is in civil law. Please.
That's what happened.
Criminal liability is strict. It's strict liability. You understand? When you are my brother and you go to misbehave and they are charging you, you cannot say that because I am related to you, I am also equally guilty. You see, we'll come to all that in the appeal. But what I'm saying is that primarily, Wontumi didn't have any concession to give. So if you charge him for having given the concession, if Akunta Mining had been charged alone, then the defense would be different. But Wontumi as a person, did he have it?
What arrangement did he have with Henry Oku?
No. Did he have it? The answer is yes or no. If he didn't have it, what did he give?
No, that's a question I'm asking you.
You see,
what did he give to Henry Okum?
And did he give anything in the records, in the evidence? He did not give anything because he didn't have anything to give. So I'm just saying that.
Okay. So who instructed Henry Okum to go on the land to do reclamation, or who gave that arrangement between the two of them?
If I don't have anything, can I instruct you to go and do something?
So then, how did Henry Okum land?
No.
No, I'm asking, how did Henry Okum appear on that concession?
So it is a concession in the name of Akunta Mining Limited. So it is only Akunta Mining Limited who can give. So granted that there is allegation that Wontumi may have engaged Henry Okum.
It's not an allegation.
No.
It's a fact.
No. Let's see. If Henry Okum Wontumi engage Henry Okum, in what capacity would he engage Henry Okum? If it's in respect of concession belonging to a next person, Akunta Mining. So if he even acted for and on behalf of Akunta Mining, where is Wontumi in this transaction? That's a person. And don't forget that the law is that the cooperative body is different from Wontumi, a director or a shareholder. So why charge Wontumi? And if you think that Wontumi was a rightful person,
is answered in the judgment. That's why I'm wondering why. Because you have the full judgment.
So those who are
and
talking,
that question is answered in the judgment.
So,
reason why the
that is why you are referring to the lifting of the veil.
Question, yes, that question is answered in the full judgment that you have. That reason why Wontumi was charged, and not Akunta mining.
So alternatively, listen,
I think.
So alternatively, if it is Wontumi who would have given the concession to him, where is also Akunta mining? Was there anything left for Akunta mining to have also done? So charging Wontumi and Akunta mining, and the same case was a multiple charge, and identifying multiple persons for a commission of one offense. So what I'm saying is that if you are charging Wontumi based on your civil principle of lifting the veil, where was Akunta mining? And if you are charging Akunta mining for having the concession and giving it out, where was Wontumi? So to begin with, I'm saying that why the two of them are charged for committing the same offense, not that they have, one of them would have facilitated or joined, or you see, I'm talking about the offense of assignment. So how did the two people all assigned?
Wait, your client at the time you were his lawyer.
And all these things, are in the address.
Hold on. During cross-examination, he admitted to that arrangement with Henry Okum, correct?
Who admitted?
Chema Wontumi.
I didn't cross-examine Chema Wontumi.
No,
I'm
specifically reading from the judgment.
I cross-examined.
I'm not talking about you cross-examining. I'm saying your client. I didn't say you.
And in law and in the criminal practice, the client, he is not supposed to prove any innocence.
But your client admitted to that. I know. But you were in court.
So my client, when he was under cross-examination, he says that I engaged him.
Exactly.
He engaged me and allowed him to reclaim the land.
Absolutely.
Reclaim the land. Listen. Reclaim the land, plant coconut tree, and we will share the proceeds of the coconut tree as we harvest.
So he should plant coconut trees.
Well, you know that the judge didn't mention at all what Wontumi had said as the arrangement between him and Henry Okum.
But Henry Okum on page 28.
The judge rather accepted the version of Henry Okum, who says that, yes, I approached him, he agreed for me to go and reclaim the land and plant coconut tree and also mine.
Yes.
And Chema Wontumi comes to say that, and there's no corroboration. Nobody else came to say that, yes, I was there when they did
right
this.
And the other is not.
And so both of them are on the roof. Now we have Henry Okum who has given a caution statement denying that I didn't do anything. And in the light of this mistrust and the integrity level of this same person, who in one breath is saying in the caution statement, I didn't do anything, and another breath in the witness statement saying that I did that. And the judge will believe that and deny the direct evidence of the accused person who says, I didn't do it. And I even caused the regional security council to come and arrest. And it is through that arrest that Henry Okum was, Ayisi was arrested, and Ayisi mentioned Henry Okum.
But
which of the two would you believe?
On the matter of whose report should have been believed, that is,
yes. And in all cases where there is a doubt, the doubt announced to the benefit of the accused person.
But if you read, that's where it comes to the page 28 of the judgment, which you have a copy of, and you obtained this where the full judgment. Where did you get it?
This one. I said my mother even had it before it was read.
Oh, how?
That is what I'm saying. Look at this. How would I be? And this one verbatim, straight, the same thing.
So you asked a question as to why Chema Wontumi's account was not believed as against that of Henry Okum. And that is captured in page 28. In paragraph 6 of his witness statement, prosecution witness 2, that is Henry Okum, stated further, and I quote, I'm reading page 28. We all have the judgment, we can read it. I funded the reclamation works using proceeds from my mining operations on the concession And A1, that is Wontumi, was fully aware of this fact. PW2, that is Henry Okum, was not cross-examined on this critical piece of evidence. It says you did not cross-examine him.
Wait.
Neither did the first accused put before this court any evidence to show that he had advanced money to PW2 to fund the reclamation.
Okay, good.
So that's
Good.
PW2,
So,
that is Henry Okum,
assuming-
I'm coming, had maintained throughout the trial that the first accused, Wontumi, had permitted him to do two things in the concession, namely, to mine for gold and then use a part of the proceeds to reclaim the damaged land. In fact, during cross-examination, when PW2, that is Henry Okum, repeated his claim, counsel for the accused, that is you and the Appiah Kubi, first, and the third accused, did nothing about it. So you didn't do anything.
Wait a minute. Granted, starting from there, that I didn't even do anything about it.
That's what the
Granted,
says.
that I didn't do anything about it. In his witness statement, he did not give any. There is nowhere in the whole evidence that suggests that fund the reclamation with proceeds for mining. There is nowhere. This is the conjecture from the court.
This
28,
what I just read?
There is nowhere in the evidence. And I'm saying that if you want to talk about this, you need to read all so that you find where there was a conjecture that, or from the PW2 that I'm saying that he said I should fund the reclamation with proceeds from mining. There is nowhere. There is nowhere in the whole of evidence that there is this statement. Number two.
Statement that
I should fund the reclamation with proceeds from mining. Listen, and if you read all of that, even in
Okum said it.
Okum, he didn't say it.
Oh, it's in the judgment. It's in the judgment.
And that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm telling you.
You were supposed to cross-examine.
Listen to me.
So if you fail
I am
to
saying
cross-examine him on that
that
point,
this statement never appeared in the records everywhere.
Oh.
No, I'm saying this is a conjecture from the judge.
It's a
I am
conjecture.
saying that it is, and that is why I'm saying pick the record of proceedings. Pick
you didn't come with it. You didn't come with it.
I should bring the whole file here.
Oh, no.
So I'm saying that go through the whole evidence. There is no story saying that I should fund the reclamation with this. There is this rather consideration discussion. We say that we will share the proceeds of the coconut. And I'm saying.
So, are you saying that this is a fabrication of?
It is a fabrication. This is exactly what I'm saying.
Wow.
Oh no! I'm telling you, if you find it, cite me for whatever. I am saying that this is a fabrication. Number two, let's go on.
That's a serious comment.
Yes. Do you think that I'm afraid? Do you think that I'm afraid? I'm not.
So that is
And I'm saying, do I lie to you? I'm saying, do I lie to you? Do you see me as a liar? I am saying that. Go and find out. There is nowhere that this sentence comes that and use the proceeds. Use the proceeds to find. And indeed, I cross-examine him. The proceeds that you get from your mining, do you account to Wontumi? The answer is no. It is in the cross-examination. And do you take instructions from Wontumi to do the mining? The answer is no. Does Wontumi benefit from the proceeds of the mining? The answer is no. All of them in the proceedings. And again, granted that he even says that he is aware. How do you know that he is aware when there's even no corroboration? He said it. Wontumi, fortunately, has come after the dismissal of the submission of no case to also give his own evidence, saying that I did not instruct him to undertake mining. I did not. Direct evidence. But this is circumstantial. Because you didn't give him money, there is a presumption that he will use
We'll find it
with proceeds of money. Who gave him that rendition?
Yeah.
And who said that it is an inference by the court that because you didn't give him money, therefore he will take it as you getting him to mine and support it. But also in the same evidence, there is also from even Henry Okum himself that we will share the proceeds of the coconut farm
as payment for the reclamation.
He didn't say that,
but I'm saying, but that is implied.
So, but I read that
also
part. It's not even implied. I read that part in page 28. It's part of what I just read.
So even if you say that Henry
it was never
didn't motivate him to do the reclamation, I'm saying that the motivation, as per the evidence given by Henry Okum himself and Chairman Wontumi also in his defense, is that we will share the proceeds of the coconut farm to be planted. And that Chairman Wontumi even gave a figure of the acreage of the coconut so far created. And that we will share the proceeds. The two of us will share. And I found it necessary to even cross-examine him on the interest of Chairman Wontumi in the mining, whether there is any hidden interest. And the man, he himself, said that no. And he said, of course, we found some gold in the on site. So whose gold was picked on site? And he boldly said, mine, it's mine. Would you give part to Chairman Wontumi? No. You understand? And we have a situation like that. And then Chairman Wontumi himself comes to the box and says that I did not authorize him to do it, both on oath. So in the circumstances we have, the person who had in the caution statement indicated that I did not do anything like that and had come back with a witness statement saying that I did it and no corroboration. And we even put him to cross-examination for him to confirm that Chairman Wontumi has no interest in it.
How was he going to pay for the reclamation? Chairman Wontumi, pay your cross-examination because you were in court.
They said that the motivation to do it was the proceeds from
the future,
the coconut.
The coconut.
Yes. Do you know how much reclamation costs?
Do you know how much the reclamation will cost? As you stand there.
Yeah, millions of dollars.
Did he?
No, CDs. I didn't just say CDs.
Why
And you were going to get that from the process of coconut planting.
Do you know the extent of land that we are even talking about? Listen.
No, did he pay for it?
Listen, wait.
Wontumi.
Do you know?
He paid for the reclamation.
No.
He didn't pay.
Look it. But
you cannot assume
does it suggest that because he didn't pay?
Yeah, he's allowed to mine.
And again, even as we speak now, you know the size of land that was to be redeemed, and how do you put value to the reclamation exercise?
Yeah.
And somebody is talking millions of dollars.
Because of the machines, from the evidence. When Okum went to buy the machine, it was Wontumi who took him to the supplier. The same machines, how much is an excavator? Even one. Listen wait, listen. No, when they went to the site, they found 20 serviceable excavators and 5 non-serviceable ones. So
were they for Henry Okum?
But that is what it is.
These were rented equipment. Please. Go and read it before you come to argument like that.
They've been forfeited. Did you see that?
When you rent something to do,
and the owner didn't show up all along.
When you rent something to do, I asked. Don't forget, I filed a motion for the court to investigate the owners of all the equipment listed, including even the ammunitions and the vehicle, the equipment on site. Because I wanted to find whether Chairman Wontumi was associated with any of those equipment. And the judge, through that motion, dismissed it.
Yes, rightfully so. But that's not why investigation.
I have a question. That if I own an asset and somebody enters the asset and starts to do something illegal without my permission, I should be the first person to sue him.
Good. Wait.
I should be suing that person who say, hey, my land is there. He's sitting there. I haven't given you permission.
No, there's an admission that he allowed him to go there.
Okay.
So wait. You allow that?
No.
There's an admission.
Because I have a piece of land.
So the absence of policy. No. The absence of policy. No.
I should be suing you.
I wanted to extract.
If I allow him to go,
no, even if I rent my house to you and you use the house you've rented from me for illegal activities, I will sue you.
That is if you know.
But if you know, Wontumi didn't know he was doing illegal mining. He said go and do reclamation. No, he didn't.
He never went to inspect.
No, he said go and do reclamation. No, because that was not the commission. The commission was going to do reclamation.
Wait.
Let's get to
Hold on. So
I send you to. You send me to your house. Go and bring my car. Listen, please keep watching. You send me to your house, and then go and bring me my VW vehicle for us to travel with. I go there and see there is a gun lying somewhere, and I take it and put it in my pocket without informing you. Then there is a missing ammunition, and then we were charging you for allowing me to pick ammunition that I have not registered.
So,
is that the case?
I have to show that you are not entitled to pick ammunition.
Yes. So if you haven't seen me pick ammunition, and you are being charged,
But it is my car.
Oh, no.
okay.
You didn't understand the question.
Yeah.
I said you send me to bring a car. I go there and see ammunition lying, and without your authority to pick ammunition, I pick it and put it in my pocket. And then I am arrested.
And we have drivers.
Wait.
So if my driver does commit a crime using my car, aren't I the one responsible?
Are you sure?
No.
Are you sure?
Sometimes.
Are you sure? No.
Sometimes.
You are excused because you are not a lawyer. But what I'm saying is that
I asked you a number of questions.
You could anybody could rather charge me for stealing because I did not take what you asked me to go and bring.
Okay, please.
And indeed, one other aspect is that you didn't know that I stole it. You understand? But if it came to your knowledge that I stole it and you didn't do anything about that, that is where the culpability will come to you.
Yeah.
Okay. But where I have stolen it in my pocket without your knowledge, and I have been arrested. It is my crime, not your crime.
Okay, well, I asked
Especially
you
when
some
you come to
questions
court and say that I did not send him to go and pick ammunition.
Thank you. I asked you questions to form the base for this conversation because you handled most part of this particular trial. I'm just winning. I'll bring you and then I'll come to Richard Ayan. But you've heard.
That is why I'm saying all of them are conjecturing.
This?
Yes.
Conjecture?
Yes.
Hamza, let me have
First
you
of all, good morning to you. Good morning to our seniors in the studio and our cherished viewers out there. You see, I have listened to Senior and the Appiah Kubi, and I'm left with one irresistible conclusion on this matter. And that is the unfortunate level of dishonesty characterizing. No, I'm coming, please.
Hold on.
Please. The unfortunate level of dishonesty that characterizes our political discourse, and most importantly, especially when it comes to judgments of our high courts. And I say so because, first, a claim has been made by a judgment that Senior Andy is brandishing everywhere.
We brandishing everywhere.
But you just did. But
you say everywhere.
Please.
It is on this.
Hold on.
Not everywhere.
Hold on.
No, let me correct you, please.
Okay.
Brandishing everywhere. What does that mean?
All right.
It means I'm doing it not on one forum. Everywhere means everywhere.
Claiming that this.
But
is,
I've just done it here. So say it on this platform.
Okay. No. Hamza, let me hear you.
Claiming that this is a document that emanates from the High Court judge, and that it was not signed, it was prepared ahead of time, and to the extent that this is a document that is not signed, it presupposes that...
I did not say it is not signed. Please quote me well. I did not say it is not signed. I said that, you see, there is a...
There's no court
Yeah, he
stamp.
said it's not been certified.
I said it's not certified. That is not signed.
That's the
Certification is different from signing. Please, let's get our words. We are talking law.
You said it was not stamped, not so.
I say it was not certified, yes.
They are close.
It's stamped. But I didn't say it was not signed. They are not the same.
Thank you.
So, first of all, this is the first time I'm hearing this, and this is your claim. We all know how we get judgments from the courts.
Yes.
I don't know how you got your judgment, but I'm pretty much convinced, for the information I have, that those claims are unmeritorious.
Those which claims?
Oh, that the judgment was Wontumi probably had access to the judgment before he was sent in there.
But am I not showing you this?
And you have but the judgment is now out. So what are you showing?
Yes, so go and find the judgment and compare
But
it to this
you made an assertion that the judgment was out even before the DD
and that
of the
is why
judgment.
I'm showing you this.
Oh, so you got it before the judgment was out? From who? No, this is a serious claim. He has just accepted that he got the judgment before the judgment was out.
I am saying that liable for that.
And are you saying you got this judgment before?
That's what he said. He has just said.
He said his mother gave
No.
Let him be liable for that.
I'm making my point. Yes.
I'm saying that even my mother in my village knew about it.
Okay.
Okay,
No, but he has just accepted now that he had this before the judgment came out. On this my playback.
No, wait.
No, it's okay.
Did you get this judgment before it was delivered?
I got the content from Chairman Wontumi before it was delivered. But immediately after the delivery, I got this also I pulled it from the internet. You understand? But before it was ready.
Now, can I make this? I think that our viewers are better judges.
But I'm saying that unless you discredit this,
I see.
Please let me make myself.
You got the content
With the
of
greatest
this
of
from
I'm
Chairman
telling
Wontumi.
you that Chairman Wontumi himself called me 3 times before he entered the court.
And gave you the judgment.
Listen, you cannot put words into my mouth.
So, but allow me to make my
And he told me that he has heard that he will be convicted for 20 years. He told me.
So that's the content is referring
Yes, that is the content I'm referring to.
No, he said the content.
I got it before the certification.
Before the certification, I think. No, Mr. Jackson, thank you.
I am saying
it was the actual
I didn't say that.
And I'm saying the sum total of the judgment is that he will be sentenced.
Let me hear you.
That's the content he's talking
And
about.
again,
Okay,
Can I make this? We can allow you to run. That is one. Another interesting claim was made to the effect that indeed even the charge sheet was defective.
that's what I'm reading.
Yes, and I'm not disagreeing with your opinion on that matter, but I'm also just asserting that any lawyer worth his salt, if you have suspicions that a charge sheet is defective, there's a process that you have to kickstart to challenge the validity or otherwise of that charge sheet. Was it done?
Go and read the address. Go and read the address. You will see
You are
it.
restrained. Please. Thank you.
And again,
When you were talking,
what case have you done in your life before?
when you were talking, nobody interrupted
again, you should control his language.
Well, you were the lawyer who was supposed to challenge it. I didn't know.
Where's his salt? And you have not seen the challenge even on the charge sheet, and you are talking like that.
Challenge on the charge sheet. You challenge it on the charge sheet.
I think
That's not what I was
challenge it in the
told.
courtroom. Even the motions that he been filed, you
Let me just give you a classical example. In relation to Annan, that is not true. Both in the UK and here. And let me make my point.
Let me say, lawyer,
Make your point.
Are you going to allow us to have a decent show?
Make your point.
Make sure that you also be decorous. A lawyer was his salt, indeed.
Oh, you should have been decorous in assessing the judgment of the judge. You sat on TV, a senior counsel, and sought to impugn the integrity of a judge by alleging that she released her judgment. And you think that is an example for me, a junior counsel, to learn from you? What are you talking about? Please. And you see, first of all, I have demonstrated that the reasonable thing to do is to challenge the validity of the charge sheet. If you thought that there was something wrong with it, we saw it not long ago, 2 or 3 days ago. The Council of Hanan Aluduba, when they had concerns about the charge sheet, they did the needful by going on motion on notice to challenge same. That is what any lawyer will do.
So is it conclusive that you only do that?
You made your point.
I had a strategy. I wanted to challenge it in the address. You haven't practiced. You don't understand. No, he doesn't understand. What he said the only thing to do is to challenge the charge sheet. And it was not my strategy.
You're being destructive. Let's maintain some decorum, please.
So, again, another interesting claim to the effect that, when it comes to the concerns that were being raised, the circumstantial evidence adopted by the judge, it is interesting that he actually even didn't seek to challenge the essence of using some circumstantial evidence when it comes to criminal trials. Because he cannot. One, if you have a witness before you, and the witness has made assertions to the effect that per his arrangement, and mind you, even before that, you presented a prosecution witness to the judge, an expert witness. an accused witness, and indicated to the judge, senior, that look, this is the person who is vested when it comes to reclamation. And questions were asked on cross-examination about the financial implications of reclamation. And your own witness accepted on oath that indeed it is not, we are not talking about small monies when it comes to reclamation, though he fell short of mentioning an amount. Yeah. And a direct question was asked to you, your witness, as to whether indeed there were any financial commitments in that regard, whether Wontumi had paid for it. Wontumi had not paid. And so all the questions that were asked on the stand were questions that made it easier for the judge to connect the dots and cross the T's, and came to the irresistible conclusion that, look, Wontumi engaged with Henry Okume and Co. with the sole motive of actually engaging in illegal mining, intended to benefit from the process of that illegal mining, but not reclamation. It is one thing for Wontumi to claim that I sent him there for reclamation. It is another for Henry Okume to also claim that I was sent in there to reclaim and to mine. But at the end of the day, it is not senior and the Appiah Kubi or otchere who is vested in law to compare the two scenarios and reach a conclusion. It is the judge. And the judge will reach a conclusion based on examinations in chief and cross-examination and evidence available. So if at the end of the day, the judge listens to both sides and came to the conclusion that indeed Wontumi had questions to answer and proceeded at the back of that to reach a conclusion, I don't think that we can sit on this platform and say that, look, the conclusion was not sound without challenging it in the form of an appeal. My senior also made references to piercing the corporate veil and said that, oh, it is only applicable in civil matters. That is not true. Because even if a company commits a crime against the state and the state takes steps to ensure accountability, the law permits lifting of the corporate veil to go against directors of that company. So it is not accurate to claim in law that the issue of lifting of the corporate veil is only applicable when it comes to civil matters. That is not law.
Absolutely.
That point needs to be made. And we see there's also an interesting logic, especially when it comes to this case, and it has been demonstrated. You can see the tension between senior Appiah and the Kubi and that of the NPP, because they believe that he didn't do a great job. And you could see even the arguments between him and that of my brother Richard on this platform. But the reality of the matter, we can all pretend as much as we want. Evidence was presented. They were weighed. A decision was made. If you have any problem or whatsoever in relation to the decision, the appeal processes are not shut on you. And I've heard them make reference to the fact that, oh, even they were challenged, they were seeking for an interpretation and the judge proceeded to rule. Yeah. Richard, that is another problematic assertion and misunderstanding of the law. It is true that prior to ex-partisanito and co, the position of the law was to the effect that lower court judges, no, I should say from the high court, they were allowed to more or less apply the law in the way they understood it. Especially if people were alleging issues of interpretation that was in actual sense not interpretation. But even prior to ex-partisanito, I remember the case of, there was a case...
from the
70s. Mm-hmm. It was more or less influenced later on by even the Richard Annan case. Mm-hmm. The interpretation of the complaint in the provision of the act. Complaint. It was indicated in that decision that, look, judges must be more than willing to refer to the Supreme Court. But that does not also mean that when they look at the law and it is clear on the face of the record and that they can apply, they are precluded from applying. Right. They can proceed to apply. Yeah. So if the judge has applied, the judges, it is your word against the judge's word. True. The judges feel that this is not an interpretation matter. Even ex-partisanito did not say that the judge has no right to apply the law. Indeed, if you read the law, that judgment, it was clear that judges are allowed to apply. And so if you have issues You can even raise the matter of interpretation for the first time on appeal. I'm lying, senior. Yeah. Republic versus Dexter.
No problem.
You have the legal case gives you the authority to raise the issue of interpretation for the first time on appeal. But the point I need to make is that, look, the NPP should not use their internal confusion, as far as this Wontumi matter is concerned, and transpose that onto our judicial architecture to give an impression that there's something wrong with the judgment. What is wrong, as far as this issue is concerned, is their internal confusion. And so it must be separated. But if you read the judgment and you follow the case, the conclusion was irresistible. And those who are claiming that they have identified an excess of about 20 grounds of appeal, let them say it on this table. People are making references. People are making references to charge sheet and how defective it was.
Thank you. Hamza, thank you. Darryl, you have spent some time. This Samurai boy we're talking about, many people don't even know where it is, what is happening there. The evidence of the situation on the ground, the circumstantial evidence that the trial judge relied on. What is the reality check in Samurai boy? What's happening?
Well, Alfred, I think good morning again to everyone, distinguished guests here, panelists as well. But you see, I think for me, this discussion on the judgment, where we are now, I'm looking at the bigger picture for all of us. And yes, I mean, if you ask me about what is the evidence on the ground, you see, if you look at this case and the fact of the case, he was not convicted based on the impact of all the illegal activities on the ground. That must be said. He was more convicted on the fact that he allowed somebody to work illegally on his concession and all the other facts thereof. That's the matter. But I think Samurai boy, if you go to that particular landscape and you look at what is happening there, significant devastation beyond anything that you can think about. Just this June, when the rains came, because of all the mining, and I would say that whole enclave, because of the impunity that people wield and demonstrate in that area, mining has devastated the land to the extent that the Tano River, which really runs through that area, has been mined beyond point of having a channel. So when it rains, the river is blocked, diverted, and is seriously seated. And June, we saw how the flood came, and according to NADMO, over 1,500 people were displaced. So that tells you how really bad the impact of that illegal mining activity has affected that whole area. Now, I think the point has been made that, look, do we even know the size of the particular area that this activity or this conviction applies? I think that's a separate matter. But I think that for us, it's also the matter of the impunity with persons who believe that they can mine or allow people to mine on their concessions illegally without any consequences. And that is why we, on our part, without even, yes, we are mindful of the details of the facts and the judgment and all of that, but we are still very much concerned about the extent to which the import of this case is applied broadly. Because I'm telling you, Alfred, it is not only the case of the Wontumi and mining that we have instances of people giving out their concessions for others to mine. The reason why we have a lot of the illegal mining activities are people who even have small-scale mining licenses allow others to go and mine, and then they share the proceeds or go for a certain percentage of the proceeds at the end of the day. We know of some companies on the ground who every day they have men in pickups who go to sites that they allow people to mine. So for me, I think I'm really happy about this judgment in the fact that it kind of shows you somewhat the lapses in we not applying the law as we should. Act 995 was very, very strategic. I agree. Act 703, in terms of somebody who has undertaken illegal activities and all of that, was not sufficient in terms of being punitive enough to get people who are engaging in illegal mining convicted. So even if they were convicted, 3 years max. But then the previous president said that, look, that is not enough. We want to deal with galamsey, so we need to make it more punitive. Act 995 came in and said that if you facilitate, if you aid, if you finance, even if you fabricate equipment, you are now liable to summary conviction of nothing less than 15 and nothing more than 25. So for me, even if you are conflicted about whether the case or the evidence, what about the bit on allowing somebody to engage? Now I'm interested in how the government going forward will use this to go after all those people on the ground. I think that between when the case started and now, we should have had more than one Wontumi going out there being prosecuted, not just Wontumi.
The Samurai Boy video is what we're seeing on the screen now. So would you agree with that narrative that he's a political prisoner?
I don't agree to that assertion, because from where we sit, I don't see any evidence to point to the fact that Wontumi is being prosecuted because of who he is as a politician or because of how loud he is. I think that the evidence on the ground, if you look at the judgment, is more about the fact that his company, for which he is a director, engaged or allowed, and he himself engaged in a relationship with somebody who did some activity on his land, which in law is constituted as illegal. And so he's just facing the tune of that particular bid that he himself has set in motion. So there is no way, I don't see it. What will make it look like a persecution, Alfred, is when beyond this, going forward, the case just comes to a rest and that's the end of it.
Right.
Because there's a lot more happening out there in the field that we think that the police, the government, the judicial, what are they waiting for? So time will tell all of us whether indeed, if this was a political persecution or indeed it was a prosecution to ensure that the environment is protected.
No, Kpebu, is there any defect in this particular ruling? And what hearing from Appiah Kubi, what is said
and
in
before
there?
Senior Martin comes in, just a quick one, with your permission. I think that this is
time.
solid grounds. This is solid grounds, because I'm getting messages to that effect. That the judge in the case needs to file a petition to the General Legal Counsel for Senior Appiah Kubi to come and substantiate the allegations to the effect that the judgment was out and Wontumi had access to it before the judgment was made public. It is important.
I will be very happy if I'm given that opportunity to prove it.
And rightly so,
we
effectively will disassociate ourselves from that particular claim.
And I'll be very happy to come and substantiate it.
Alfred, you don't have time.
Let's do this. So there's naturally bias on my part. So if you say there's a defective, any defect,
this description of Wontumi as a political prisoner. And so let's.
No, so the first part, I think, is there any defect in the judgment? I'm saying because of my bias, because of my bias, you won't expect that I'll do an excellent job at it. The bias being that we need to protect the forest, etc. So my reading of the judgment on the face of it is okay. It's okay. It's sufficient to put Wontumi where he is. It's sufficient. It's sufficient to put Wontumi where he is. Because, you see, the thing is that the judge makes the reference. Keaton, Wontumi does not deny that he gave permission to Henry Okum, right? But that permission he gave, wrong permission, because even the person who was giving the permission to Henry Okum does not have a mining support services license. You see, before you do mining support services, you have to be licensed. So he was engaged in an illegality by giving that to Henry Okum. Okum told the court that he is a small-scale miner. He's not into reclamation. Reclamation is a science, so it's not just you just cover the pits and start planting.
But the reclamation has to even be approved by the ministry.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, so it's a whole procedure and the LI. If you want to do
reclamation to the ministry.
So it will be won't be the owner. You mean for the license? Yes. The license should be Henry Okum. And if you are going to engage somebody, you should be checking whether he's licensed for that purpose. It's just that you're going to hire a lawyer. You've not checked whether he's licensed. Anybody you see in the court premises, and in a suit, lawyer, can you help me? No, you first check. Are you a lawyer?
So that
are you a lawyer?
To will not say that I am not qualified.
He says his story is that Wontumi gave him for them to mine.
The person who wrongly engaged the wrongful person is rather guilty of providing the service than the one who did not have the qualification
Yes, because of plea bargaining. So when they approached Henry Okum, he decided to cooperate. You think if Wontumi had cooperated, it would have been this high?
Then there would be no case.
There would have been a case that, okay, go and plead guilty and then they'll give you a lower sentence. That would have been smarter for him.
But there would have been no case if what Henry Okum did, Wontumi did that. But you know, Henry Okum was selected for the convenience of prosecution. So it's not the same thing.
Did Wontumi make an offer? It
was a convenience selection.
Hold on to your point. I'm going to go for this quick break when we are back. No, you haven't finished your point.
Yeah, so I said that, look, even on the matter of the reclamation, the person Wontumi engaged had no license. And so that in itself is a contravention. That's the one Appiah Kubi was trying to say. But how about Okum himself? And we're saying that, you see, under our law, that's why we have the amendments that now allow, I mean, in broader terms, plea bargaining. So it was within Wontumi's right, okay, to approach the AG to do plea bargaining like he's doing in a different case. So when he was confronted with all these things, if he had approached the AG to say he also wants to cooperate, he will spill the beans, etc., it would have been a different thing.
The Deputy AG said he wasn't interested in it. Shams, I said he wasn't interested. Wontumi was not interested in this.
So that is where he caused his own problem. If he had made an offer like the Exim Bank, when Wontumi made the offer in the Exim Bank case, I was one of the persons to support, and I still support. People insulted. So you are still negotiating, and we support it. We support that we should get the money back.
Thank you.
What the Exim Bank case? You are no longer doing the.
Go ahead.
Oh no! Give me information. The Exim Bank, you are no longer negotiating.
I'm saying the position you stated is wrongful.
Which that you made an offer.
Okay, go back to a case and talk. But I'm just giving you.
No, let's see. So that if we are giving wrongful information, nobody wants to mislead them. We are told that you approach the AG to do plea bargaining.
That is correct.
And so
but the conclusion that you just expressed is wrongful.
That is ongoing. So there's no plea bargaining on the table.
Let's go ahead.
We support it because we want to get the money back.
Now it says there's no.
Okay, so let's go. So the point I'm making is that so in this case in which he's been convicted, if he had made an offer to do plea bargaining, the outcome would have been different. But he stuck to his grounds and then fought it in court and lost. So that one you can't say that it is selective because Ahiyaba said that this is selective. Why did they take Okum and didn't take Wontumi? Wontumi didn't make an offer because let's be fair to the facts. Wontumi didn't make an offer in this case. He didn't. Otherwise, it would have been made public. His lawyer is sitting here, the lawyer at the time. If he had made an offer to do plea bargaining, we would have known. So don't say it is selective. Plea bargaining is voluntary.
It's voluntary. This one is not even plea bargaining.
Lawyer. I'm done. Let's go. Let's just two statements. Let me tell you. Look, reading the case, there's one side that we need to between Okum and Wontumi. Reading the judgment, you can see a lot has been left unsaid. So it means that they buried a lot more of the evidence. Yes, between Okum and reading the judgment, you see that
let me hear from
Wontumi a favor.
Alfred, today is one of those days that you need to get extra time because literally.
Make your point.
No, but I need to. I can't make any point with what time you have. You understand? The point I'm saying is that you should have more time. At least you should advocate for that. You know what I mean? Literally, like 57, 58, 2 minutes.
So you're
like,
not going to say anything?
We said Wontumi is a major case. He's a political prisoner.
Okay.
Between all the things, between Hamza, my brother, and lawyer Kpebu, everything they said just shows that Wontumi should not be in prison.
Really?
Yes, because this circumstantial evidence on basis of which Wontumi is in jail, okay, actually should have been in his favor. The doubt created in this case should be in Wontumi's favor. Right. But somehow, he's rather suffering it.
But who says the doubt was created?
But the whole thing, the case is doubtful here. There is no concrete evidence that... but we have read the thing. No, we have read the thing.
Are you the judge on them?
But we have read the judgment. This is the judge. Is that not it? His judgment is the judge, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the statement. I'm saying that
And you have
reading
come
this
to the
statement.
conclusion. Are you an expert? Are you a judge?
Well, it is. We have just read the English he has brought, which then says that. Oh no. Oh, come on, Hamza, hold on. But so you think that it is concrete. We think it's not. Then you think that what you believe is absolute. But what do you mean? What do you mean expertise? Don't we have common sense? This thing that people do. Oh, no. Please.
I think we need
this. Yes, there's a common persecution. The law is it rocket science? No.
It's seriously flawed.
Please.
Anybody to go and represent
But see, this is not correct. No, you are running your credit. See, Hamza doesn't want me to talk. Jesus Christ.
To go and appeal this. It says you are going to appeal. That's what.
Yeah, but the point I am making is that you have gone to court once. The man who actually did the small scale matter, is he?
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.